The best gaming laptops take your setup from your desk to wherever you want it to be. These portable powerhouses can go toe-to-toe with desktop PCs these days and do it all from a coffee shop. Throw in a new generation of high-resolution displays and both skinny and chunky frames, and you've got a massive selection of machines to choose from. This year hasn't seen any new GPUs on the market, though, and Intel's 14th generation processor upgrade is more of a minor iterative update. That means gaming laptop brands have had to get creative with their new releases. Between super-fast OLED displays and complete chassis redesigns, this year's crop of portable PCs still mean business. However, the fact that their benchmark scores show smaller jumps over the previous year's models means we've also got a whole roster of older machines to contend with as well. In fact, the best gaming laptop we've tested so far is, overall, the 2024 Asus ROG Strix G14. It balances high-octane performance with a manageable form factor and plenty of extra features, without exploring the top-shelf prices of the 18-inch model. However, if your budget still doesn't stretch that far, you can rest assured we've been testing machines all across the price spectrum. We have listed the top 10 best gaming laptops of 2024, and their key features you need to consider this to help you choose the best one for you. For more information on the product, as always, I've included a link in the description box down below, which are updated with the best prices on each product. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to stay tuned till the end so you don't miss anything. Now let's get started. Number 10. Acer Nitro 16. With an outstanding mix of specs, speedy display, and fantastic price for its mid-range configuration, the Acer Nitro 16 is one of the best laptops for gaming for those with enough money to do a mid-range machine, but only just barely. The Nitro 16 will get you excellent 1080p gaming performance, especially thanks to a speedy 165Hz display that makes it perfect for esports and other competitive titles. Not a lot of gaming laptops for under $1,500, $1,500, $2,000 can say that. Still, there are trade-offs, and the more aggressive gamer design on the Nitro 16 really could have used more innovation rather than stick with what gaming laptops have been doing for the past several years. Its webcam isn't great either, and it's a rather bulky machine to the point where it might have been a desktop replacement if it had better specs. Still, if you're looking just past the budget horizon for your next gaming laptop, this is an excellent choice. The Acer Nitro 16 offers solid gaming performance at a budget-friendly price, featuring a 165Hz refresh rate and a robust keyboard with RGB backlighting. While it does not excel in aesthetics and is somewhat bulky, its overall functionality and affordability make it a commendable choice for competitive gamers on a budget. Number 9. Asus ROG Zephyrus G14, card paired with the lovely 14-inch screen size at an affordable price. That's the Asus ROG Zephyrus G14, and when you add extras like an OLED display and battery life impressive for a gaming laptop, it's hard for me to not fall in love with this thing. The G14 is the smallest model in the Zephyrus line, so it's extremely portable. You can outfit it with an NVIDIA RTX 4060 or 4070 graphics card, depending on whether you want to save some cash or max it out. It feels as comfortable to use as the MacBook Air M1 2020 that I use for work, but it comes with luxury features that make playing games, and even watching movies, a top-tier experience. The Zephyrus G14 isn't built to be a powerhouse. Consider a laptop like the Asus ROG Strix G18 for that. But what power it does have is well allocated. The Zephyrus is powered by AMD's Ryzen R9 8945HS, a powerful processor paired with the RTX 4060 laptop graphics card. It tackles most games with ease, and can even run some of the heaviest AAA titles reasonably well. Both Starfield and Cyberpunk 2077 managed to maintain a respectable 50 to 60 frames per second on medium graphics settings at the laptop's full 2880 1800 resolution. Starfield dipped to around 40 FPS in areas like New Atlantis that have famously struggled to get very high frame rates. But this is still reasonably high, given that Starfield is capped at 30 FPS on the Xbox. When adjusting the display to 1080p, I could crank the graphics settings in Cyberpunk and Starfield up to high while maintaining roughly the same 50 to 60 FPS. By staying on medium, I got over 60 FPS in both games. I prefer the latter approach since smoother gameplay feels better for me than extra foliage detail. But there's flexibility here to tailor the experience to your desires. Number 8. Alienware M18. While it is not the first 18-inch gaming laptop we've reviewed since this XXL size class of machines burst onto the scene at the start of 2023, the Alienware M18 starts at $108,999, as tested $399,999, is no less a head-turner. Our pricey model lives up to that with an Intel Core i9-13980HX CPU and an NVIDIA RTX 4090 GPU, alongside its roomy 18-inch 2560 by 1600 pixel display. And the gaming performance is as competitive as you'd expect. If you're a deep-pocketed enthusiast in the market for a desktop replacement for gaming, you'll enjoy the blazing frame rates and slick design. The Asus ROG Zephyrus 18 is certainly an alternative, but the Alienware M18 takes our Editor's Choice Award for big-screen gaming laptops. Meanwhile, the smaller Lenovo Legion Pro 7i Gen 8 remains our top pick for high-end gaming laptops overall. We liked the look of the M18 when we first saw it back at CES 2023, and that remains the case during my time with it. Despite the massive 18-inch frame, it peaks at 1.05 inches thick and tapers to 0.95 inch at the front, which isn't much thicker than smaller laptops. Limiting thickness is admirable, but realistically it only helps so much when you consider the full size. The M18 measures 1.5 by 1615 by 1259 inches HWD and weighs 8.9 pounds. The base model starts at 8.5 pounds, and certain component options raise the weight. Even compared with other 18-inchers, the Alienware M18 is heavy. The Razer Blade 18 is the slimmest, around 0.86 by 15.74 by 10.83 inches, but it still weighs 6.8 pounds. Much lighter, but still heavy. While the powerful Asus ROG Zephyrus G14 comes in at 1.21 by 15.71 by 11, 57 inches, and 6.77 pounds. You'll see later in the testing section if the extra heft is worth it in performance. Number 7. Asus ROG Zephyrus Duo 16. Asus has updated its dual-display gaming laptop for 2023, bringing AMD's and NVIDIA's latest Ryzen 7000 and GeForce RTX 40 series silicon to the new ROG Zephyrus Duo 16. Starts at $3,499, $399 as tested. The relatively slim form factor and unique design don't compromise the performance. This machine posted some of the fastest processing and gaming results we've seen, and the elegant design retains an undeniable cool factor. Of course, you have to pay up for what you see here, but if you're already shopping in the high-end gaming system range, you may as well get the head-turning design to go along with the blazing fast frame rates. If you're looking for a more traditional layout and a better value, check out the recent Editor's Choice Award holder, Lenovo's Legion Pro 7i Gen 8, a conventional gaming clamshell. The two-screen design isn't new any longer. See the similar 2022 Asus ROG Zephyrus Duo 16 model, so it doesn't need quite as much examination, but it is still pretty cool. If you haven't seen this arrangement before, Asus Duo laptops use one main, normally sized display, in addition to a second smaller screen above the keyboard. This second screen, named the ScreenPad Plus on this system, is a touch display that angles up toward the user when the laptop is pulled open. The size and specs of these screens have varied over the last few years, but the general concept is the same. Number 6. Razer Blade 18. Razer's Blade 14 is my go-to recommendation for anyone hunting for a good gaming laptop, but as impressive as it is, it trades power for portability. If that's the kind of sacrifice you don't want to make, then say hello to the Razer Blade 18. This is the powerhouse you're looking for. Side by side with the Razer Blade 14, the Blade 18 looks like a protective big brother. You can see the family resemblance, but the larger blade is more imposing. Its 18-inch mini LED display is so bright it's almost overwhelming in dark rooms, and it produces vivid colors that rival the already stunning screen on the Blade 14. The Blade 18 starts at $3,100, but the model I tested is $4,500. You get a lot of power for the price. It packs a 14th generation Intel Core i9-14900HX processor an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 laptop GPU, upgradable to the beastly RTX 4090, which is what I tested, 32 GB of RAM, and a 1 TB solid-state drive. It's the kind of power that can tear through even the most demanding games. Razer outdid itself with the display on the Razer Blade 18. The mini LED panel has a 2560x 600 pixel resolution with 2000 local dimming zones, delivering exceptional contrast between brighter and darker areas of the image. The Razer Blade 14 was already one of the most vibrant laptop screens I'd seen, but the Blade 18 makes it look dull by comparison. But what sets it apart is the 300 Hz refresh rate. At their best, most gaming laptops only support 240 Hz, which is plenty for most games, but for fast-paced titles like Overwatch 2, you want all the frames you can get, and the Blade 18 is one of the few laptops I've tested that can crank out that many reliably. Maintaining such a high frame rate is going to be a drain on the battery, but Razer's Synapse software has an option to automatically switch the display to 60 Hz when on battery power. Number 5. Lenovo Legion Pro 5. The Legion Pro 7i Gen 8 might be the top dog in Lenovo's gaming kennel, but the AMD-based Legion Pro 5 Gen 8 starts at $182,999, $767,999 as tested, offers a compelling proposition. A similarly impressive design with a few lower-tier parts for a much lower price. The downgrades aren't glaringly obvious, and make the Legion Pro 5 a very solid 16-inch mid-range gaming laptop that doesn't give rivals like the MSI Katana 15 much room to breathe. Lenovo has been crushing it design-wise with the last couple of iterations of its Legion gaming rigs, and that continues with the Legion Pro 5 Gen 8. The notebook may have a polycarbonate base instead of the aluminum of the Legion Pro 7i, but it's a solid-feeling plastic, and the lid is high-quality aluminum. The design feels pretty much as tanky and robust as its more premium siblings, with ample cooling vents occupy nearly half of each flank and a good portion of the back edge, supplemented by a wide intake grill on the underside. Despite all those cooling vents, the system manages to find plenty of room for ports. There's one USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type-A port on each side, a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C port on the left, and an audio jack near the webcam privacy shutter switch on the right. Most of the ports are around back, where you'll find another USB-C and another 2 USB-A ports, an HDMI 2.1 monitor port, a Gigabit Ethernet jack, and a DC power connector, though the rear USB-C port allows up to 140 watts of power delivery. The rear ports are neatly labeled with a legend just above each on the laptop's surface, so you can see which is which without having to turn the machine around. Number 4. MSI Titan 18HX. If cost is no object and you're seeking a desktop-like laptop experience for maximum performance, look no further than the MSI Titan 18HX, $5,390 as tested. This 18-inch powerhouse packs a fresh Intel 14th Gen Raptor Lake refresh, Core i9-HX processor, an RTX 4090 GPU, a whopping 128 GB of memory, a 4 TB solid-state drive, and a 4K 120 Hz mini LED display. Enthusiast gamers are more than covered, meaning this is a machine for demanding media, processing, or data crunching tasks in addition to gaming. Outside of that thin upper slice of the market, the Alienware M18 is a comparatively more approachable 18-inch machine. At the same time, the editor's choice. Award-holding Lenovo Legion Pro 7i Gen 8 is the best overall value among gaming laptops costing more than $2,000. The Titan, as ever, is a pick for peak power seekers untethered from the budget or space constraints of mere mortals. When you see an 18-inch gaming laptop, it needs little introduction. You can rightly assume it's going for power. That's even more the case for the Titan 18 than others, as the name suggests, pulling no punches in its design or choice of high-end components, as was evident when we first saw this system at a CES 2024 preview. Older big-screen laptops used to go even bigger, so the Titan is perhaps relatively compact versus the behemoths of old, but it's still a beast when put against most modern laptops. Specifically, it measures 1.25 by 15.9 by 12 inches and weighs 7.93 pounds, a reasonable footprint for an 18-inch system, but sparing little concern for weight. Laptops of this size, bluntly, are not meant to be moved much. These are desktop replacement devices, giving you a monitor-like experience and destined to stay put on your desk. Number 3. Gigabyte G6X. Gigabyte's G5 2023 is our favorite budget gaming laptop, so when this Gigabyte G6X 9kg 2024 model arrived at my office, I was really looking forward to testing it out. It has a similar same price as the G5 did when it first launched, but the hardware inside has been given a bunch of updates to modernize it. However, it's not quite a fair comparison, as the G5's true successor is really the Gigabyte G6. So what exactly are we getting with the added X? Put simply, more CPU cores, more power for the GPU, and more battery capacity. We all like getting more for our money. The 9kg variant under review sports an Intel Core i7-13650HX processor, which has 6 P-cores and 8 E-cores for a total of 20 threads. That's more than enough for gaming, perhaps too much, as it has a maximum power limit of 155 W. Gigabyte has paired the CPU with a 105W GeForce RTX 4060, and it's the most powerful version of that chip we've tested so far. Rounding off the rest of the basic specs are 32GB of dual-channel DDR5 4800 RAM and 1TB of Gigabyte's own PCIe 4.0 NVMe storage. It seems that the UK is only getting 16GB, which is why the price in Blighty is a touch lower. But it's way better than the 8GB nonsense you used to get not that long ago. Those specs are all pretty decent, and I'm glad Gigabyte wasn't tempted to try and jam more powerful stuff in there. That said, the combined maximum powers of the CPU and GPU come to 260W. That's a lot of heat for a relatively slim laptop to shift. So you probably guess what that means. I'll come to that in a moment, but for now, let's talk about the screen. It's a full 16 inches in size, with a 16:10 aspect ratio, 1920 x 1200 pixels, and a refresh rate of 165 Hz. Number 2. Lenovo Legion Pro 7i Gen 9. The Lenovo Legion Pro 7i Gen 9 16, $2,149 is tested, challenges many high-end gaming laptops for hundreds less. It doesn't have all the frills of Lenovo's flagship Legion 9 rigs, but it comes close, giving you a premium build and powerful components without hitting the laptop pricing stratosphere. Packing an Intel Core i9-14900HX CPU and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4080, driving a 1260 by 1600 pixel screen with 200 Hz refresh rate, it's ready for the most demanding games. For giving $3,000 plus portables something to worry about, the Lenovo Legion Pro 7i Gen 9 16 wins our Editor's Choice Award for deluxe gaming laptops. Lenovo doesn't make waves with the Legion Pro 7i Gen 9 design-wise. It looks and feels much like the previous generation, but why mess with a good thing? In fact, you can't mess with much, period, as the company only sells the system in 2 hardware configurations, though there is a choice of Windows 11 Home or Pro. Both versions boast Intel's Core i9-14900HX processor, 32GB of DDR5 5600 memory, 2 1TB NVMe solid-state drives, and the 240Hz 16:10 aspect ratio display. While our RTX 4080 review unit is $2,141.49 with Win 11 Home, stepping up to NVIDIA's RTX 4090 brings the price to $2,199.99. Don't confuse the Legion Pro 7i Gen 9 with Lenovo's Legion 7i Gen 9, which has the same CPU and screen but steps down to a GeForce RTX 4070 GPU. Starting at $1,738.49 with 16GB of RAM, it's thinner and lighter, 4.93 pounds versus 6.17, and has a different arrangement of ports, including the Thunderbolt 4 port that this Pro counterpart oddly lacks. Number 1. Dell Alienware M16 R2. Dell's Alienware line has been a staple of the gaming laptop scene for years, and the company has been continually refining these machines. The latest entry is the Alienware M16 R2, which brings an understated design, decent display, and an array of performance options, making this an excellent daily driver laptop that can still hold up to your gaming needs. The Alienware M16 R2 starts at $500 with an Intel Core Ultra 7 processor, NVIDIA RTX 4050 laptop GPU, 16GB of DDR5 RAM, and a 1TB internal solid-state drive. Dell offers upgrades that can beef it up substantially. The model I tested had an Intel Core Ultra 9 CPU and RTX 4070 laptop GPU, which surprisingly only raises the price to around $20. That flexibility in upgrades is welcome, because the design and performance of the M16 R2 lends itself well to running dual duty as both a work laptop and a powerful gaming machine you can play on at the end of the day. The Alienware M16 R2 is one of the more understated designs I've seen on gaming laptops, and I appreciate it. The chiclet-style keyboard is smooth and comfortable to type on, and it has a row of volume control keys along the right side, including a dedicated mute button for the microphone, which is handy when gaming online. The trackpad is slick and spacious, with a tasteful RGB LED rim around it. Most gaming gear tacks RGB lights on random edges to give it that gamer look TM. But here, the LED rim looks nice and serves a purpose as the backlight on the keyboard, making it easy to find keys in the dark. On the right side are two USB-A ports and a microSD card slot. On the left, there's an Ethernet port and a headphone jack. I first thought the M16 R2 was relatively sparse on ports until I noticed how many were on the back. Two USB-C ports, one Thunderbolt 4, a full-size HDMI port, and a proprietary charging cable.